Our world is filled with places where time seems to stand still and whispers of the past linger in the air. Among these, certain houses stand apart, not for their charm, but for the dark shadows they cast. These are not just homes, they're sites of ghostly apparitions, unexplainable wonders, and tragic tales that have endured for generations. Today, we'll be looking at the 15 most haunted houses on Earth, where the veil between the living and the dead is at its thinnest. Let's start with number 15, Beck House, Ontario, Canada. In the quiet town of Penetanguishene, Ontario, the Beck House stands as a charming Victorian landmark with a haunting backstory. Built by lumber magnate Carl Beck, the house became the epicenter of family betrayal. After his wife's passing, his eldest daughter Mary took on the responsibility of raising her siblings, sacrificing her own life for their care. Yet, when Carl's will was revealed, Mary received just $1, while the rest of the estate went to the siblings she had devoted herself to. Today, visitors report chilling encounters with apparitions. A suited man, believed to be Carl, is often seen being chased by a furious woman in a dark blouse, presumably Mary, still venting her anger from beyond the grave. For those daring enough to stay, the house is available on Airbnb starting at $98 per night. Would you like to visit this home? Number 14, Casa de la Poesía Silva, Bogotá, Colombia. Tucked away in Bogotá's historic Candelaria district, Casa de la Poesía Silva is both a cultural treasure and a spectral enigma. Once home to the celebrated poet José Asunción Silva, the house is steeped in tragedy. Silva, a master of melancholic verses, was plagued by personal loss, most devastatingly, the death of his beloved sister Elvira. In 1896, after enduring years of despair, Silva took his own life within these very walls. Visitors claim that Silva's poetic spirit lingers. Muted whispers and the faint rustling of papers are often heard from empty rooms, as if he's still revising his lost manuscripts. Declared a national monument in 1995, the house is now a haven for literature lovers. Poetry readings and workshops draw visitors eager to connect with Silva's legacy. But for those sensitive to the paranormal, Casa de la Poesía offers more than just inspiration. It's a haunting glimpse into the mind of a tortured artist. Number 13, Chateau de Brissac, Maine-et-Loire, France. Standing tall in the Loire Valley, the Chateau de Brissac is a breathtaking fusion of history and terror. With 7 stories, 204 rooms, and even a private opera house, it is France's tallest castle. Yet, its beauty hides a chilling tale. The most infamous spirit here is La Dame Verte, or the Green Lady, said to be the illegitimate daughter of King Charles VII. She met a gruesome end in the 15th century when her husband caught her in an affair. Her spectral presence is often seen in the chapel tower, her green dress flowing eerily while her face reveals hollow eyes and nose. Guests frequently hear her mournful wails echo through the grand halls. Despite its haunted reputation, the chateau is a popular destination, hosting wine tastings and festive events. Visitors who stay overnight in its opulent rooms might enjoy a glass of wine or an uninvited ghostly guest. Number 12, Ancient Ram Inn, Gloucestershire, England. The Ancient Ram Inn, nestled in Watton-under-Edge, is a relic of dark and turbulent history. Built in 1145, it originally housed laborers constructing St. Mary's Church. Over the centuries, it gained infamy for its connection to alleged child sacrifices, witch trials, and satanic rituals. Its location on intersecting ley lines, a source of supposed spiritual energy, only amplifies its haunted reputation. The inn's spectral inhabitants are as varied as its past. A ghostly monk is said to wander the halls, while the anguished cries of a child pierce the silence. The witch's room is haunted by a woman burned at the stake in the 1500s, and a Roman centurion has been spotted riding through walls. Perhaps most unnerving is the succubus said to torment visitors in their sleep. Despite its grim history, the inn is a magnet for paranormal investigators and thrill seekers, earning its place as one of the most haunted spots in the world. Now, let's move to Number 11. Winchester Mystery House, San Jose, California. The Winchester Mystery House is a sprawling architectural oddity that stands as a testament to one woman's fear of the supernatural. Sarah Winchester, heir to the Winchester rifle fortune, believed she was haunted by the spirits of those killed by the weapon. To appease and confuse these spirits, she began building her mansion in 1886 and never stopped. The result is a labyrinthine masterpiece with 160 rooms, staircases that lead to nowhere, doors that open into walls, and over 10,000 windows. Sarah believed this chaotic design would trap the vengeful spirits and protect her from harm. Today, the house is a popular tourist attraction, offering visitors a chance to explore its bizarre layout and eerie history. Ghost sightings are common, with staff and visitors reporting cold spots, shadowy figures, and the sound of phantom footsteps echoing through the halls. It remains one of America's most famous and unnerving haunted landmarks. Number 10. Lizzie Bordon House, Fall River, Massachusetts, USA. Lizzie Bordon's name has become synonymous with one of America's most infamous unsolved murders. In 1892, Lizzie's parents, Andrew and Abby Bordon, were brutally murdered in their home with a hatchet. Lizzie was the prime suspect, but despite a highly publicized trial, she was acquitted. The chilling story captivated the nation and has haunted the collective imagination for over a century. Today, the Lizzie Bordon House is a popular tourist attraction where visitors can explore the crime scene and delve into its dark history. Guests can even book ghost tours or spend the night at the bed and breakfast, where reports of strange noises, cold spots, and eerie apparitions are common. For those who dare, a stay at the Lizzie Bordon House offers more than just a glimpse into a piece of American history. It's an invitation to encounter the lingering spirits of a tragic, unresolved past. Number 9. Whaley House, San Diego, California, USA. The Whaley House, located in Old Town, San Diego, is a renowned haunted house built on the grounds where convicted criminal Yankee Jim Robinson was hanged. In 1852, Robinson was executed for grand larceny, but the hanging was a gruesome affair. His feet grazed the ground as he died, prolonging his suffering. When Thomas Whaley bought the land in 1856 and built his family home, little did he know it would become a hotspot for paranormal activity. His daughter, Lillian Whaley, reported hearing the sound of boots clomping through the house, suspecting the ghost of Yankee Jim. Today, the Whaley House is a registered historic site and museum, where guests often report sightings of Thomas and Anna Whaley's spirits. Cigar smoke and floral perfume have mysteriously appeared, and even TV host Regis Philbin has claimed to see Mrs. Whaley's ghost. It's no wonder the Whaley House remains one of the most haunted in the United States. Number 8. Faces of Belmes, Jaén, Spain. In the small town of Belmes in southern Spain, an eerie phenomenon began in 1971 that has baffled both locals and scientists for decades. Maria Gomez Pereira discovered a strange face emerging from the cement floor of her kitchen. At first, she and her neighbors believed it was a mere coincidence, but the face seemed to reappear, sometimes changing, sometimes growing larger. Despite attempts to remove the face by chipping away at the cement, new faces appeared, including those of older men and children. As rumors spread, scientists investigated, confirming that the faces were not paintings or fakes, but how they appeared remains a mystery. The faces of Belmes have sparked skepticism and curiosity alike, becoming a topic of paranormal intrigue. The house is no longer inhabited, but the mystery of the faces still lingers, inviting both speculation and wonder over what lies beneath the surface of our everyday world. Number 7. Blickling Hall, Norfolk, England. Every spring, the ghostly presence of Anne Boleyn, King Henry VIII's second wife, is said to haunt Blickling Hall in Norfolk, England. Anne Boleyn's tragic end, beheaded on May 19, 1536, on charges of adultery, has become the stuff of legend. Boleyn spent part of her childhood at Blickling Hall, and on the anniversary of her execution, her headless ghost is said to arrive at the estate in a coach drawn by a headless horseman. Her apparition is not entirely headless, however. She carries her severed head with her, a gruesome sight for any who dare witness it. The haunting of Blickling Hall is a chilling reminder of the turbulence and tragedy of the Tudor era. Today, the estate is a National Trust property, but those brave enough to visit may find themselves sharing the grounds with one of England's most infamous ghosts. Number 6. Rose Hall, Montego Bay, Jamaica. Rose Hall, a grand plantation house built in 1770, is the setting for one of Jamaica's most terrifying legends, the tale of Annie Palmer, the White Witch. Born in Haiti, Palmer learned voodoo before moving to Jamaica, where she used her dark powers to manipulate and murder her lovers and enslaved workers. Palmer's reign of terror involved poisoning her first husband and murdering 2 more men, all in a bid to secure her wealth and dominance. She was rumored to have buried her victims in a hidden pit beneath the house. Legends say Palmer's ghost, along with the spirits of her victims, continues to haunt Rose Hall. Visitors have reported strange sounds, including screams and slamming doors. Now a museum, the house remains a chilling reminder of the deadly power Palmer once wielded and a terrifying place for those brave enough to visit. Number 5. The White House, Washington, D.C., USA. The White House is not only the residence of the U.S. President, but also one of the most haunted buildings in America. Over the years, numerous presidents and first ladies have reported eerie encounters with spirits of past residents. One of the most well-known ghosts is that of Abraham Lincoln, who is said to roam the hallways, often appearing in the Lincoln bedroom. Other reported sightings include the spirits of former first ladies, such as Dolly Madison, who has been spotted tending to her beloved rose garden. Abigail Adams, the First Lady, is said to haunt the East Room, often seen hanging laundry just as she did in life. The White House has hosted numerous ghost sightings and paranormal experiences, with even Eleanor Roosevelt and the daughters of President Jimmy Carter reporting strange encounters. With its long history, the White House remains a nexus of political power and ghostly presences alike. Number 4. Dean House, Alberta, Canada. The Dean House in Alberta, Canada, is a property steeped in tragic history and ghostly whispers. Built in 1906 for Captain Richard Dean, the house moved twice. First in 1914 to make way for the Grand Trunk Pacific Railway, and again in 1929. Its unsettling past took a darker turn when, in 1933, a young boy took his own life in the attic, followed by a brutal murder-suicide in 1952. The tragic deaths that occurred within its walls have led to numerous reports of paranormal activity. Visitors claim to hear eerie laughter and strange footsteps echoing through the halls. The unsettling energy of the house has made it a magnet for those fascinated by the supernatural. Today, the Dean House stands as a quiet reminder of the dark events that once took place there. Guests may still hear the whispers of the past if they listen closely enough. Number 3. Villisca Axe Murder House, Villisca, Iowa, USA. The Villisca Axe Murder House is a haunting symbol of an unsolved tragedy that shocked the small town of Villisca, Iowa in 1912. On the night of June 9th, Josiah Moore, his wife Sarah, their 4 children, and 2 visiting friends were brutally murdered while they slept, all struck in the head with an axe. Despite numerous investigations, the crime was never solved, and the house remains a chilling reminder of that fateful night. Visitors to the Villisca Axe murder house report eerie occurrences: flying objects, falling lamps, and ghostly voices. Many paranormal investigators believe the spirits of the victims still haunt the property, forever trapped by their brutal deaths. Today, the house operates as a museum and offers overnight stays for those brave enough to spend the night. The horrors of June 9, 1912 continue to linger, making it one of the most unsettling and haunted places in America. Number 2. Monte Cristo Homestead, Junee, New South Wales, Australia. That picturesque view of Junee, New South Wales, Australia, doesn't exactly scream haunted house, but the Monte Cristo homestead is notorious for its eerie history. Built in 1884 for the Crawley family, it initially seemed like the ideal family home. However, tragedy struck when a servant accidentally dropped the Crawley infant down a staircase, leading to the child's death. The servant insisted a force unseen pushed the child from her hands. The haunting didn't stop there. In 1910, Christopher Crawley died of heart failure, and his wife Elizabeth became increasingly reclusive and cruel. Several more tragic deaths occurred under her watch, including a pregnant servant who fell to her death from a balcony and a young boy who burned to death. In 1963, the house was purchased by Reginald Ryan and his wife Olive, who immediately felt something was off. Cold spots, strange lights, and a general sense of unease were common. The Monte Cristo homestead remains one of Australia's most haunted locations, with visitors often reporting paranormal activity. Number 1. LaLaurie House, New Orleans, Louisiana, USA. Standing 3 stories tall on Royal Street in New Orleans, the LaLaurie House was once the epitome of elegance, home to the wealthy Madame Delphine LaLaurie and her 3rd husband, Dr. Louis LaLaurie. But behind the grandeur of this imposing mansion, dark secrets lurked. Madame LaLaurie, known for her cruelty, owned enslaved people, and rumors of abuse spread throughout the neighborhood. In 1834, a fire broke out, and when rescuers entered the slave quarters, they uncovered horrors no one could have imagined. 7 severely mistreated and malnourished people were found, 2 of whom later died from their injuries. 2 more were discovered buried on the property. After the fire, the citizens of New Orleans, disgusted by Madame LaLaurie's actions, chased her out of town. She fled to Paris, and though she was never brought to justice, her reputation was forever tainted. The house, now a remodeled building, remains one of the most haunted sites in New Orleans. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.